Hello and welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about and some of the things you don't. I am your host, OMG, with a full house with all my co-hosts here today.
Silky Smooth,
Daydream,
your wellness warrior, Susan Denner.
Now, as always, guys, we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today, we're going to talk about alternative holiday celebrations. Now, while people think that Christmas is wonderful and fabulous and is their favorite holiday, most never reflect on why they believe what they believe or do what they do. We live in a world filled with customs, but few ever seek to understand their origin. We generally accept them without question. Most people basically do what everyone else does, and that is because no questions are asked and you feel comfortable with that. Now, where did Christmas originate? From the Bible or from paganism? What is the real origin of Santa Claus, mistletoe, Christmas trees, holly wreaths, and the custom of exchanging gifts? Now, many are concerned about putting Christ back into Christmas. The question becomes, was he ever there? Every year after Thanksgiving, most people's thoughts turn to Christmas. It is the time when professing Christians are supposed to focus on Jesus Christ. After all, it is the Christ Mass season. Now, Christmas is thought by most to be a wonderful time, focusing the participants on giving, family togetherness, beautiful music, decorations, feasting, and special foods, and singing Christmas carols throughout the neighborhood. Now, all of this is supposedly centered around the worship of Christ. Surely the Bible instructs us to do that, right? We'll have to find out about that. With that being said, let's carefully examine the roots of Christmas. Let's look as to why people follow the customs associated with it and the different ways it is in fact celebrated. Let's talk about Christmas being on December 25th.
Well, from what I've learned, it had nothing to do with Christ and everything to do with the first emperor Constantine.
Absolutely.
As a mockery to Christians.
Absolutely.
Let me give these fools a holiday. I'll say Jesus Christ was born on December 25th, and they'll celebrate it from generation to generation.
And that's exactly what we've
The Bible
done.
says nothing
about this.
It doesn't even focus really so much on the birth of Christ as it does his life, his message, his ministry, and
his
the
walk.
death and his death and resurrection. That's more of the focus and basically his message to Christians around the
See,
world.
what people need to understand also is that in the Bible, where birthdays were mentioned, it ended catastrophically because you had Pharaoh who had the birthday and his cupbearer got hanged. Then you had Herod who celebrated his birthday, and they wanted the daughter requested the head of John the Baptist. So birthdays has been proven to be,
anything to celebrate.
Anything to celebrate. Right. It's those two reasons that, again, that reflect birthdays. And I don't think that's a good enough reason.
And for those who do more research, when you're reading the Bible and you translate it and you go back into history and how things were and really pay attention to it, Jesus wasn't born in the winter season.
Absolutely not.
Now, if I remember
December 25th.
No, if I remember correctly, and I could very well be wrong, so please don't don't quote me on this, don't hold me to it. But if I remember correctly, it was explained to me that it's actually more like October, around that time, like harvest time, and the October, from the skies.
See, the Bible was refuted based on the weather.
Yes.
Sheep not being outside and
the weather, the amount of time, and the length of a fortnight, and things like that. Once you translate everything, so he wasn't even born anywhere near December.
Absolutely. There are three. I have it somewhere. Okay, I had some information here. I don't know what I did with it. Born on December 25th. I just made a word. Born on December 25th is your Egyptian god Horus, the Greek god Helios, Greco-Roman god Apollo, the Hindu god, Mithra, and the demon deity Baal, named after Nimrod. Now, how can all of these people, everybody's birthday was celebrated during the winter solstice.
They were born on the same day.
Yeah, on the same day. So again, as Silky had said earlier, Constantine, the emperor of Rome, played a game with us. He didn't claim Christianity until he was on his deathbed. But by then, we had taken up Saturnalia, which is what the Romans did. That was their orgy, that was their homosexual activities and big party. And Saturnalia was as big to them as Christmas is to us. So when Constantine decided to take on Christianity, he decided to blend the two. never differentiating, Christianity and just heathenism actually for the most part, because it's originally pagan. Go ahead.
But the interesting thing about that blending the two, you talk about the evil holiday and the homosexuality and all of that. Christmas really has turned into that. How many times have we heard about people getting into fights at these stores,
Well, that's
fighting
exactly
over
what they're
parking
saying.
spots,
It's
fighting over toys,
it's all about
fighting over things. I mean,
Serious,
getting
hurting
arrested,
each
serious,
other. Right.
knocking each other out over this foolishness. And many of the people that are doing are not even Christians. In fact, when I've seen Muslims in the store shopping for Christmas, I'm like, you celebrate Christmas? Why are you?
They're just like, I'm just trying to take advantage of these sales that
Americans
Americans.
celebrating Christmas. So they'll be in the store buying fragrances,
and you're like,
what do we get them as gifts?
But I think too,
okay.
as with anything, people have taken the holiday and they have twisted it into what is, like you said, what is beneficial. This is a beneficial day for me to go shopping. For me, I concentrate on what is the Christ-like thing of it. I don't concentrate on, like I tell the kids all the time, A, you're grown. B, if you ever get a gift, it won't be on Christmas.
Right.
If I'm taking advantage of the sale, now I will be respectful of other people that want to do that.
Right.
If that's what they want to do.
Well. Yeah.
And it is not that I don't. There may be a tree at my house. There may be. But I promise you, the conversation that I'm having with my grandchild, the conversations that I'm having with a lot of people, is that you do understand that it's not about this. If a gift never how about we do this? How about we go out and help some other people on that day? How about we start new traditions that truly exemplify what we're supposed to do as humanity? But people don't want to do that. They're so wrapped up in the financial.
Has turned so deceptive. Right. You don't know what's what anymore. People don't care about things that matter. And if you really were into the word, you would know that we are to love what God loves and hate what God hates.
Right.
He has asked us not to take on the traditions of man.
Right.
And so that's what Christmas is. It is a tradition. I too, for years, celebrated it. My daughter, benefited from it. I did the mommy thing. But then as you get a little bit older, you start to want to know why. Why am I celebrating this? What is this exactly?
Right.
So now I don't celebrate Christmas. Because again, Christ wasn't really in it. It had nothing to do with him.
See, and I will focus on the Christ part, because it's like, okay, well, I can't, with my family, I can't not participate.
I get that.
And celebrate, but I can choose to what depth I celebrate and I participate in some things, So I I will, I focus more on what it's supposed to mean. Okay, if you're saying it's to celebrate, Jesus, then that's what I'm gonna focus on.
Right.
So, and don't get me wrong, I love, oh my gosh, Christmas tree up. I love the holiday season because I love the love that people are beginning to show each other, even though we should do that every single day of the year.
It's a crisis too. Those 1 or 2 times.
Right. So
Weddings and funerals.
it's like looking at it's about looking, at the cup. Is it half full or half empty? I'm choosing to look at it as half full.
That's me.
Okay,
I'm
and I'll
with you.
focus on that love.
I'm with you.
And what I
with
do
you.
before we go to break, I celebrate Jesus every day. So
Thank
I
you.
don't feel the need to all of a sudden on the
Go over the
25th
top.
go over the top. And like I said, there's a reason we discussed a few minutes when we go back from break about the tree and about the wreath and the mistletoe and all these things and how they originated. But do we have to go to break?
Yes.
Okay, we're gone. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Listening to The Bridge. Share your opinion by calling 713-789-0096. Stay tuned.
Are you gonna say something before I go?
Right here.
So the second break,
I'm sorry.
second break, you want me to do?
Yeah, you can do first because
It doesn't matter.
he's paid.
Oh, that's
Jill
paid.
already paid her money. Well, so is Jill. No, she gave me that. No. That's how we go on air. Wow. Yeah. So
But you go.
you go first. Cause
She family. She'll understand.
Yeah.
Middle of the okay.
And I'm gonna bring
I'm
us
straightening up the tail end. You said you would.
Huh?
You need to.
Oh, I already did that.
Whenever we come back on break, I need to do a quick live read before we officially start.
Yeah. And mine is going to be at the end, Joy.
Okay. Oh, actually, when we come back from break, do you want to say today's show is brought to you by, and I'll do it at the
Yeah,
beginning,
because
and then she does hers at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect.
That segment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought
Then whenever we're ready, come on air, I can read it.
Oh, what do you
Oh,
get?
we took off Laura's. We took off Laura's because it was about to start and then it stopped.
I think she just has it down.
Thanks to
I
OMG,
gave her.
she gave me these.
Didn't I give you a
Are
pen?
those the ones?
Yeah, you need to wear
Even,
these.
even if you had,
I gave
would
Olio a
have
pen.
probably poked myself in the eye, so I would have
Did I give you a
remembered.
pen?
You did.
I gave Olio a pen.
Maybe I wasn't here then.
No,
gave me one.
I gave everybody a pen.
I don't remember getting last.
Okay, even the engineer says, come on, George. Like she gave me a
But I
pen.
don't remember getting last. When did you do it?
How long ago? 3-4 months ago, at least.
Was I here?
I'm thinking you were.
I won't remember
Well, I
last
had to
year.
bring. Well, I'll bring you a pen then.
I remember last
If you
year.
weren't here, it's because
Because
you
the comedy-
weren't here.
Right, because the comedy would be me going, y'all.
No, once you put them on, you be like,
No. Y'all. This is me gluing my eyes together. Y'all.
Well, if they do, you just pull them.
yes.
You just gently pull them apart.
I'm
And
gonna
go,
wear mine for,
Yes, it's
I'm
not-
gonna try to wear mine for New Year's.
Yeah, do that.
yeah.
I gave somebody a really long pair to just kind
I
of.
think hers
I
for the
think-
longest.
Yeah, just to
Use
be.
the long-
Yeah, yours
kind
are-
of
yeah.
drop.
Yeah,
'cause I
because
know
mine
mine are-
need to be longer. Because when I wear
Your
mascara,
hair,
they're
your hair, and
long.
your hair. You
They're
can have all that.
right. So I need mine to be a little.
Right.
All right, come back on.
Okay. Why am I coming back? I'm bringing it back.
I'm
Bringing it back.
I'll bring it. Today's segment has been brought to you by Doug Huddleston. Looking forward to a rewarding 2019? Then contact Doug Huddleston for profitable FedEx routes for sale. Buy into a proven business model that has been established and substantiated for decades and will be for decades to come. That's Doug Huddleston at magi1215@yahoo.com. Again, the email is magi1215@yahoo.com.
All right, and guys, thank you for listening. We are talking about alternative holiday celebrations. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host.
Silky smooth.
Daydream.
Your wellness warriors.
I'm so excited that all four of us are here.
I know. Nice.
But anyway, guys, we were talking about the holidays. But are you aware of, the winter solstice is the time when they decided that December would be the appropriate time. But during that time, the winter solstice, it is like pitch black. It has something to do with the sun going down in June.
Well, like in
and
Alaska, right?
Right,
That's
exactly,
spring.
exactly. So that's how they decided to come up with that. But they also said that the trees being brought in the house came about because during the winter solstice, it was so cold, everything was frozen. The only thing that survived was the evergreen tree.
Right.
So they felt like, well, this evergreen tree survives all of this bitter cold, then surely we need to take it into our home to bring light and to bring, back,
Life, I guess.
just life.
And
Exactly.
then it has a beautiful smell.
And it does.
also.
And that's why
Right.
we bring the trees into the house. Now, when we put things on our doors, it's an amulet. When you put a wreath on your door or the mistletoe, it is to ward off evil spirits. You have to know that there is a direct correlation with
So see, I knew what I was doing the whole
good and
time.
evil.
It was just because it was pretty.
Okay?
I like my wreath.
I know, but there's something to be said for why we do these traditions. I think, again, it's important to know why you do them, and if you still continue to want to do them, then that's great.
But at least know
At least you
what
know.
you're doing. Know why.
Right, exactly.
When I learned
to
to
explain
explain
it.
in my church, they stopped celebrating Christmas many years ago. And some people left the church
Is that
because of that.
what was it?
Windsor Village United
Village,
Methodist
okay.
Church. We don't have any. There are no decorations. There are no celebrations. No nothing. And some people did leave.
They had feelings
but
about that.
Right, they did. They had certain feelings about it. They all felt some type of way. But many of us stayed, and I don't miss it. And frankly, I'm
See, those-
glad.
Yeah,
Well,
those
it's
are the
not
people who didn't
biblical.
truly understand.
Well, they
It's-
right,
it's because they didn't
he
truly
He was the one
understand.
who taught us about
why.
that and taught us about the pagan god Easter.
That's it.
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
why
that's
they
a
started
whole
calling it
nother
Resurrection Sunday.
That's a whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
because of that.
But we have allowed most of our. When I did practice the holidays, I dealt more with Easter and Christmas being my favorite of the two. Who doesn't love Christmas?
Right.
What child doesn't love Easter? Okay,
Right.
so, but then when you stop and think about it, why is it that if it were the birth of Christ, which is what we were taught, why does he have to share it with Santa Claus? I used to always wonder, why is Santa bigger than Jesus? And then on Easter Sunday, why is
The
the
bunny.
rabbit and the fertility bigger than the resurrection?
Right.
That's man.
And so I couldn't figure out that. So now I have a very clear understanding over the last 12, 13 years exactly what it is. But, I don't want to take away anybody else's joy. If you enjoy, hey,
Please
Merry
don't
Christmas.
allow
Merry
us to take your
Christmas.
joy.
We're just trying to tell you what, help you understand perhaps why you do certain things, and it's
Right.
tradition.
And the true reason, as they say, for the season, because that's being omitted entirely.
It is because it's so much about the money.
I sit around and I listen to people talking about Santa, and I'm like, well,
Yeah, well, you know, Santa.
Well.
I sent y'all something the other day that said Santa and Satan has the exact same letters.
mm-hmm.
And then there's something that in Northern Europe that they celebrate called Krampus.
Oh,
I've heard
Krampus.
of Krampus.
What
They
is
made a
it?
scary
I mean,
movie
it's
about
actually,
that.
okay,
It's
but
actually a demon.
It is
Yeah.
Santa. That's what I'm
So
saying. It is
it's-
Santa's counterpart.
And they make
Right, so it's a
Nemesis.
demon
Was
that,
really the
you know, it's
same
in the
thing.
European
It's
countries,
the
yes.
same thing.
So it's the demon who will come, and because he disguises himself, you know, as bringing gifts and everything to children, but really it's to steal the children and kidnap them and take them,
Now, what,
and for
where
worship.
would that come from? Where would that come
For a
from? If there
sacrifice,
were-
probably.
Right.
For a sacrifice
but-
to the Dark Lord, I bet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, all this has been going on since.
But it's a big, huge thing in Europe.
I
You
have
know,
something
when
on-
you see it on, you know, like on
is
YouTube and
nasty
everywhere
It's
else,
a nasty looking animal.
it really is. But you know, you see the
And that would
celebration and
scare the
everything.
hell out
So
of every
yeah, I want
child.
to go to Europe.
But didn't they make a movie called Krampus?
They did.
There was. That's
was
the
a
first
scary
time I'd
movie.
heard that. It
Yeah.
was a scary movie, and it was
Yeah.
a big. It was some sort of a beast, but it was a combination
With
of
the
several
horns. Oh,
beasts.
look at that.
With the
Yeah.
A
horns.
masked beast with horns.
Some
Where did
sort
we
of
get
goat
that from?
face
But
or
I'm going to say,
something.
but why would that come out as Santa Claus's nemesis? That's why I said Santa and Satan.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to
Yeah.
clean up Krampus, so that's why they made it Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
But
in,
again,
in the
you can
Western world, we celebrate Santa,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is in Europe. It's not a big deal. It's us.
But
It's
they
here in
said
America.
he had horns and dark hair and fangs and a long tongue
Mhm.
and the anti Saint Nicholas. Then you had another, is it Nikolai, something else, somebody else who was, we used to call Saint Nick.
Mhm.
That also too is not.
That's
who
not the
we thought
same
it
name that
was.
they use for the Left Behind series.
I don't know. I
I
don't
won't say
know
his
much
name, but
about
he
it.
was evil, and his name too was Nikolai.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot of Saint Nick, all these things that we've gotten
Oh.
and gathered over the years, they're not what we think they are.
Right.
You know?
See, and I don't speak too much to my niece about Santa, but you know she's in a Catholic school, so she's going through all that the celebrations and the traditions and things like that, and so
And then the other kids are celebrating, and they're talking about
yeah,
it.
we
and
do the
yeah.
gifts and we'll do all that, but I won't ever say as she's gotten older, I won't say this is from Santa and this is from me.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
This is from Tia, or this
Right.
is from
Don't give-
both of us, your Tia and your Tio, this
Right,
type of thing.
Right.
Don't
but-
give Santa credit for what.
right.
Yeah, I read that somewhere too, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
not doing that.
Because you worked hard to be able to get.
Give the
those
kids
Right,
whatever
right.
they have, right.
And like I'm a non-practicing Catholic. I was baptized as a Catholic as an infant, but my family, they were still real heavy in the
Staunch Catholic,
celebrations.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
but that being said, we do a celebration called a Posada, and that's basically just the reenactment of Joseph and Mary as they're getting to Bethlehem and giving birth, to the baby Jesus in the manger. So they'll go through those reenactments,
Right.
and it's
right.
always an honor for your house to be picked.
Be selected.
Your
Oh,
house is
absolutely.
selected, and you're hosting it. And it's really cool. I'm always good when there's
Well,
food.
you know, I-
so there's tamales and everything else. And,
Hard to
atoles,
explain to
so
your
it's great.
family. You take on a new level of knowledge. It's hard to explain to your family. I got that when I gave up meat at 17. So your family and your
Yeah, you're the
peers
weird
don't-
one.
Yeah, you're the weird
Oh,
one.
there
You're
she
the one,
goes
she's
again
a
with her
trap.
ideas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, and they immediately think
The
that,
more
well, she doesn't
educated she
appreciate,
gets, the more
Yeah.
and she doesn't
disassociate
appreciate
yourself.
Christ because that's what it's about. But it's not.
I celebrate
if
Christ,
they,
they just don't celebrate Christmas.
and if they
Right.
just give you an opportunity to explain, because like I said, there are certain aspects. I'm a person who takes on my own. I'm like you.
Mhm.
I take it on according to what
What it represents
what
to
it's
you.
truly supposed to represent.
Right.
All that other nonsense, I'm like, you know what? Really, if the only time I'm gonna see you is on Christmas Day, you are misguided.
Okay.
Right.
You are very misguided. I appreciate you being able to get there, but you are
Absolutely.
very misguided as to that being the only day you feel that it is relevant.
Absolutely. That's why I say Christ should be in your life every day.
Right.
You should pay him homage and gratitude every day. So just to, I don't rush to do anything. And like you said, if you give a gift, I give gifts all year round. So one
I
day,
think it's more fun that way. I don't know. It's just more fun that way.
Yeah.
Just I just
because.
Yeah, I just like giving gifts.
I do too.
I still have yours.
Because it's something I'll see it. I'll see something and it reminds me of someone, or so and so would love this, or this is perfect for them, or this says this or that for them, and I'll get it, and I'm excited to give it to you to see how excited you get.
Yeah, sometimes I can get too excited when we give it to you.
I'll like it
I might keep that.
I keep that. I may buy you one.
I'll get you
What they
some.
call it?
Yeah,
Isn't it called it's almost like a runner's high? Isn't it called a giver's? Almost like a giver's
high.
And they say that you're supposed to. People forget that. They get messed around, get hurt one time to somebody. I'm not giving them more gifts.
Yeah, no. And see, I'm just like, oh well, they weren't appreciative. Well, I'm not getting them anything else again. But I'll continue to give you.
Absolutely.
Like giving. I prefer to give than to receive. I don't receive very well.
I even get excited.
But I give.
Right. If I get something online, I get excited, even knowing it's not for me. I get excited because this is so and so's gift. I can't wait to wrap it and give it to them.
Okay, and there are other methods of celebration. You all have some. I think there's Yule, and then there's Festivus, and some of these other things. These other ways that people celebrate. Did you send me something on Festivus or something like that?
Yeah, Festivus. Okay, so it was a Jerry. A Seinfeld episode, Festivus for the rest of us, and it's basically anti-Christmas. You celebrated the eve of Christmas Eve, and that's for those people who don't do the traditional Christmas or believe in a tree. It's a pole or something of that sort. But there's a big thing about it. Like there's a local radio station. They will they have a big thing. Big concert about it, and it's Festivus.
Okay.
So
I did read that.
I guess I guess that would be for us.
Yeah.
Anti-Christmas, but we still want to celebrate. The season.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful season.
And I still want to
absolutely.
celebrate Christ.
Absolutely. So you don't take anything away from it. But I think there's nothing more beautiful than Christmas during the holidays, especially when it snows and you're in an area where you can get snow. But speaking of,
I get so jealous of people who
I
snow.
know, right? But I think it's going to be 70. I think it's going to be 7 degrees here. 70.
So you know what? I would miss it for a hot minute.
It's beautiful when it first comes, and it's soft, and then when it gets dirty and yucky and icy and it freezes and it's dangerous, it's no fun. And let me let you know, Melissa Matthews checked in with us, and
Hello,
Felipe
Melissa.
de Jesus, thank you
Oh yes,
so
that's my Tío
much.
Felipe. Hello, Tío.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for
They
supporting
said
us.
something about Yule marks the winter solstice. So I guess that's somewhat of the Druids typically celebrated this holiday at Stonehenge in England, and similar celebrations take place in ancient sites such as Nicron. Anyway, it's all kind of medieval. It goes back to that period of time,
Right.
But also, I wanted to tell you that in Springfield, Illinois, in the state capital, where they have the nativity scene for Christians, they have the menorah for the Hanukkah, and then now the Satanic group of Chicago has now put something in that capital that represents Satan.
The Church of Lucifer?
Mm-hmm.
What did they put in there?
It's some. I can't even recognize what it is. You can pull it up. Somebody please
Is
pull
it
it
an
up. I don't even know how.
upside
It's
down cross?
well. See, the upside down thing we're going to talk about in a minute when we come back from break, because that's that tree that's all of a sudden now. But everything backwards is usually
Not
that's
good.
a
That's
cult.
not that's
Everything that's a
not
cult.
yeah, when it's backwards.
That right there. But yeah.
What was this again?
In in Springfield, Illinois, in the state capital. So look up state capital with
Springfield, Illinois.
yes, state capital with satanic
Representation of symbol,
They put their
a satanic
symbols up.
symbol.
And so they felt like, well, we should be able to celebrate,
Well, celebrate it on your own thing. Do it
freedom
on
of
your own time.
speech and freedom of religion type.
Yeah, and
Is
I
that
don't
what
know, I
they're
couldn't
referring
tell
to?
exactly what the.
Well, that will be the
It
argument.
wasn't a tree.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't a tree. I don't know what it was, but then they also said, guys, that Whole Foods, they claim that's the place of a lot of the witches. So they had a Christmas tree at Whole Foods
Oh my goodness.
that had an 8-foot snake wrapped around it.
Oh my
Whole
goodness.
Foods. So they'll tell there's training.
This
out there.
in Springfield?
No, this is just in
In
general, the
general.
Whole Foods. You need to,
Right.
they're saying that that's the location where
Good
witches like to
Lord.
go because of the holistic stuff.
Maybe that's to represent the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
I don't want to see it on a tree.
No,
I don't care what it is. Did you find it
Okay,
yet?
yes, I did. It was And the headline reads, Illinois State Capitol forced to display satanic statue alongside nativity scene. And the sculpture depicts a snake coiled around a woman's forearm, which is holding an apple. And
Can you imagine?
Didn't I just say that?
How the hell is that
The
going to be
Garden of
Christmas?
Eden, that's
right.
symbolic.
And
Yeah.
it's the local chapter of the Satanic Temple placed the 4-foot statue called "Knowledge is the Greatest Gift" in Springfield after their application was accepted.
So now we're going to have to deal with, that's going to start being something else.
Yeah, because they're going to have
Now,
chapters all
LGBT,
over.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be all in your face.
Yes, because in its application for the display, the Satanic Temple Chicago calls itself a non-theistic.
It's not religious.
Theistic, meaning it's
non-theistic, yes,
Right.
organization
Yeah,
that
it's not
aims to
spiritual.
quote encourage benevolence and empathy among all people, end quote.
It's the antithesis to theology. That's
Right.
that's what they're
But
saying.
it's scary.
Antithesis.
But it has
It's
an
the
ugly,
antithesis.
just to look at. It's not a pretty sight. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
trying to figure
that's
out.
the antithesis. Well, the Antichrist.
And the thing is, what's amazing is they can't have it both ways. You can't say that it is about Satan, and then you throw in all that humanity and empathy and whatnot. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's the
Satan
very.
is about- that's
It's not
the-
about that.
Right.
So how are they trying to
They-
correlate?
Again, that's the antithesis to humanity and loving and your fellow man and forgiveness and,
Well, the
and
world
to
is
get
quite
yeah.
dark. What you ready?
Yeah,
to
well,
you ready to do something else.
That's not that.
Before I go to that, to get back to what you said, that's also a way to maneuver in. Oh, we had it all wrong. They're really about, justice and common sense and this and that. Okay, yeah, I'm against tyranny also. So let me get involved. And then once you really start delving into it, then it's like, okay, wait, what's going on? But by that point, you're already brainwashed into it.
You already
Absolutely.
gone.
You don't realize how far in you are until
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, well, what happened? Where'd I go?
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is there is a picture on this article, and it's about the Satanic Temple sues Sabrina creators for $50 million. The picture of that statue, if you look at the head and look at the creature Krampus,
That's
very
what it
similar.
is. Real? That's what
Are
I'm
they
telling
not?
you. They're
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks almost like
It's almost
Baphomet.
exactly.
That looks almost like Baphomet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Thank
what it
you.
looks like.
And have you noticed? Has
Dancing
anyone
with the
noticed?
Ghost of the Eastern Stars. They call that thing Baphomet. or something?
Baphomet.
Okay.
AAP.
So, have y'all seen the commercials for this new singing show that's coming out, The Masked Singer?
I've seen
Oh
it.
yes.
Have you
Yes.
seen The Mask?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
You
haven't
get where
seen
I'm
it.
coming
Tell me,
from.
Tell me. I've seen
Demonic.
Mm-hmm.
Real,
They
Demonic.
The
And one
Masked-
of The Masked Singer. If you look it up,
Mm-hmm.
it's
but
supposed to be like the
celebrities.
American Idol. And
Yes,
the
don't
it's a
understand.
mystery, and they're covered up, so you have to try to figure out who they are by how they perform. But look at
the mask.
the mask themselves.
Well, the masses are there. The masses are dark.
And I know that we've seen this in movies. I know that has been displayed and depicted in
Absolutely.
movies, but I cannot for the life of me remember exactly which specific one, or what actor was in it. But I know of also, is that also not in 1984?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not in the book about the mask, the
George,
shows?
George Orwell.
And
Ugh.
It's all, it's all
Maybe
there.
like on Hunger Games or something
But
to that
maybe-
extent.
maybe.
That type of movie I know I've
That's
seen.
coming. Even that's coming as well. And what used to frighten me when I would work out in Tomball in Wood Trace.
Mhm.
I would pass this huge, probably a 30-foot pole on the side of the road that says District 249. And when I think of districts,
That's a
it's
bar.
like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like all of it is about preparing. It's predictive
Absolutely.
programming.
Right.
And so we have been programmed from childhood to believe that Christmas is what it is.
Right.
Like I said, there's a very thin line between Santa and Satan.
Yeah.
Very thin line. And so now they're like in our face. What are you going to say?
It's funny that you just pulled that up, the human life, because I was looking at
Chris
also,
Kringle and Krampus.
and it, right.
It's you look at it, it's a lot. It's like
Oh, yeah. But it's saying that Human Light is a secular holiday that focuses on the positive secular human values of reason, compassion, humanity, and hope. While there are no universally accepted ways to commemorate the holiday, modern celebrations typically involve a communal meal among a family or a group. They use candles, symbolism, all of that. So that's yet another
Right. alternative to
exactly.
to
But
dealing with Christmas.
but their thing is they want to make it more cultural. They, of course, less about spirituality and more just about people being good people. And at least when you're looking at their logo, it doesn't make you go ugh.
Right. Oh, okay. It's like cutouts of kids.
Right.
Yeah. Like a family.
Kumbaya.
Cutout of family kumbaya.
Yeah.
Type.
And then we have Kwanzaa. Now
that I've never understood.
I have never quite fully. See, I don't know.
I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere,
Well,
or maybe
that's how I feel.
my
Yeah,
awareness
it's a little
wasn't
much,
turned
but
on.
at any rate, I guess it's African American. It was created in 1966, and a professor and chairman of Black Studies at California State University is the one who actually created it. And the name Kwanzaa is derived from the phrase Matuna ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits in Swahili. So, and I think it
sounds like from the Lion King.
I know, right?
That's when I heard you say
Posada.
that. Yes, that's what I'm hearing.
Kwanzaa is really associated with three green candles, three green candles for, let me see, I've got what it is, red, black, and green.
Right.
The African.
Mhm.
So it's symbolized by 3 green candles, 3 red candles, and 1 black candle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is another way that people celebrate Christmas.
So
actually, it starts on the 20. It
It's
starts
like
on
an
the
act, right?
26th, and it goes for a week afterward. But it's after Christmas.
So it
And
bumps
each
into
day,
New Year's?
Well, actually,
each day, Umoja, Kujijakalia,
It's a
and
whole-
each
it's a
means
whole- it's-
different
they
things,
mean different
collective
things,
works.
right.
But it's nothing ugly or negative. It's positive works, people coming together, and then Umoja. I don't know all of them, but they all represent positive things. It's not.
They do. I
Yeah,
get
it's
that because it
nothing.
says you like a child lights one of the candles on Kanara, which is the candle holder. It's kind of like a menorah. It's Kanara, and one of the 7 principles is discussed. The principle called whatever.
Kujijakalia?
No, this is Kuga Saba, and it's an African culture which contributes to building and reinforcing community among African
And then
Americans.
what are the
So
others?
it's all
Are there
positive. I don't have it all listed.
Yeah.
And with Hanukkah, isn't it the menorah, and then there's a teaching or there's a lesson? It's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
But
But that's Jewish.
Right, but for the
that's
Jewish-
the same thing.
Jewish religion as
See,
opposed to
Jews
this.
don't believe in Jesus, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they believed he was a nice
the
prophet.
Messiah.
They don't
But
believe. They do not believe
Messiah.
that he was a
Messiah.
Messiah.
Right. So they
They
don't
believe he existed, but they don't
they
believe
he
he was a
existed.
Messiah.
I think mainly
They're
I forgot-
waiting.
I
They're
think
still
it's
waiting for
Abraham
Messiahs.
is where
Messiah.
all the religions kind of connect and support,
will agree upon
will agree upon, and then after that,
to each their own.
everybody's going their own way. But up to Abraham, everybody's cool. Abraham was his brother.
It's
He was-
all
he
well
was
and good
Yeah.
until after Abraham.
But like I said, this Festus thing, and I think Festus had a lot to do with it has. What do you say? That basically you talk about the things that you're not happy about. Is Festus, because
Oh,
nobody,
so is you're like venting?
Yes,
See, I didn't go
it's
into
a
that.
vent
That
section,
I don't know, but
and what's his name? George Costanza.
Of course,
You can
the
like-
short bald guy.
Yeah,
Oh, he complained.
He was the one who brought
Shocker.
that about, right? So there are different ways to actually support.
And
your want
are
to do
you
this.
okay? Are y'all with movies? Because you said George Costanza, the actor that plays him. What I understand, I have yet to look this up, and I don't know why I haven't just asked Siri really quickly, but George Costanza, that actor was actually in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. He's Rusty.
Oh, really.
I didn't know that. I'm looking.
Are you
After
serious?
I was told that, I looked
my
more and was
God.
paying closer
You must
attention,
have some wine,
and I
all
kind of
that
see
comes
it.
together.
I was
You
like,
can
okay,
see
if I
it.
could
You
kind
can
of
see
see
it.
where they say
Right.
that, but I never actually went to look. Hey, is this the same actor?
Yeah, I forgot
On there,
they don't
but-
show his name
Sorry, it just-
on here.
pulling
That's
them
one of
up.
my favorite, or my favorites is
Yeah.
Christmas movies. So I've been watching it.
It's Jason
On
Alexander.
loop.
That's his
Mhm.
name. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so
here
they
we
do
are.
have.
Let me give these.
Go ahead.
A Kwanzaa has a 7 principle, or Nguzu Saba. That's the 7
That's what I
principles.
just said.
Umoja is unity. That's the first one. To strive for and to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujijakalia, self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose. Koumba, creativity. And Imani is faith. So each day,
All of these
the
things.
7
are what
principles
we
for the
do.
7 days, starting on December 26th, for 7 days, you celebrate each one, and you celebrate it in a different way. But you see, there's nothing upside down or
Okay,
negative or
okay,
harsh
that's
or
true.
other.
But my
Right.
question becomes, why can't we celebrate that every day? We need all of those same.
Well, that's what
components.
Kwanzaa is about. They're
But
not just
Kwanzaa
saying
is
do it
doing-
then.
But Kwanzaa is during a specific time. It is an alternative to Christmas. But when you're talking, I'm just basically saying, when you're giving positive information to people to feel good about themselves and what they're doing and how they're doing it, that needs to be every
Well,
day.
at my church, when I was living in Brooklyn, New York, we didn't just do this at Christmas time. every
That was
day
my
through
point.
ministry,
That was
we
my-
were talking
then
about
that's my point.
Umoja. We were talking about Coochie Jackalia to the point where, and I'm ashamed of myself, we had to know them verbatim. We knew the principles
Well,
and
that's
what
what
they
I'm saying.
meant.
It's something like
And
that.
I'm
that used to
embarrassed
be-
that I even had to look it up because we had to know what each one meant. In fact, I even had to do a presentation on Nia,
Well,
purpose.
I-
and a lot of people name their daughters Nia, which means purpose.
I get all of that, and that's the point that I'm making. Is
Yeah.
that something that carries that sort of positivity? As a culture, we need that. It doesn't need to happen.
Every
just one
culture
day a
needs
year.
it because
Right.
really
Every other
this
culture's
is
fine.
really for
Right.
our people, but it's
Every-
for anybody's
Every
culture,
other
really.
culture's fine.
Yeah.
We're the ones. It's kinda like- I mean, let's be
We're the
real.
ones.
We're the ones lacking. You know?
But I think too, when people start to fall into the habit of embracing what already exists and not, like you say, looking into it and then seeing how do we spread that along.
And that
the
was
remainder
on
of
the
the
right-
year,
That was
on
the
a
gentleman,
day-to-day.
the one who started it. That was his idea. Like, I don't want to celebrate what already exists because it didn't have our people in mind. It didn't have
None of
people,
this
any
stuff
people of
has
color
us
in
in
mind.
mind.
It had none of us
It
in
never
mind.
does.
And his probably the impetus behind it was, how do I do something that includes everybody? So anybody, even if it didn't matter, could take this and live by these principles.
Any person of color.
Or any person of color
Period.
could live by these principles. We didn't have to take the
Right.
European Krampus or whatever it is way of doing
Krampus
things.
is a
But
scary
that,
animal.
That- you know, that thing, I
It was
just-
scary. I couldn't even really look at it. It was scary to me.
Yeah.
And as soon as I
That's
saw
how-
it, I remember that I saw the clip
right,
of the
I saw the movie
and I was
with
like,
that thing in it. I know
And
that
they-
was I
that
heard
is
that.
evil.
And they told the children, if you know, he may come and eat you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Tell
he's
the
coming
child
to
that
get you.
kind of stuff.
Well, you gotta make them act right.
Oh, yeah.
You have belts, you have
Strap.
chanclas. Or, you know, with us, I hate it. I hate when I hear it. When my people will sit there and say, you know, the dog's gonna get you, el wow wow, I cannot
What is
stand that.
that?
That's the noise the dog makes in Spanish. You didn't know that's how the dog barks?
Oh,
El
yeah,
wow wow.
Spanish dog.
No, wow, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
That is so annoying. I can't stand it. It
It's
irritates
nice to
me.
learn other cultures.
You know, it's like, you know, nails on a chalkboard. That's every
It's
time I
that
hear
what is
this.
the
Because
chancla?
they're trying to get the kid to behave.
The
Yeah.
shoe.
Yeah, use a chancla.
Chancla.
You mean the elf on the shelf?
Or the broomstick. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's like, come
My
on.
dad just walked around with a strap and you knew.
Are you kidding? My
Oh,
Aunt Rose,
we had
my
a
godmother,
look.
had
We
a
had a
belt
look.
around her neck. She used to walk around
Are
Astroworld
you
with
serious?
a belt.
She
Yes.
knew she was going to need it.
Because that's what you
But
did.
back then they beat anybody.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh,
You
you're wrong.
kidding? And where's your mom?
And where's your
What happened?
mom?
I beat him because, oh, okay,
Let
well,
her
I'm going to
know.
beat him too.
That's
Right.
it.
He embarrassed me. And had to have somebody else beat
Good
him.
looking out. Thanks for looking out.
You're looking out, Rain. You think
That was the village.
Right,
That was the village.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the village
Absolutely.
concept.
Yeah, but
So
we
take us a break. I think we gotta go to break.
Is that me?
Yes.
Yes.
That's you.
No, that's
That's me. Okay. I'm sorry. Having the right real estate agent means having an agent who is committed to helping you buy or sell your home with the highest level of expertise. This also means helping you understand each step of buying or selling or the selling process. Let Jillian Dunham help you do just that. Reach out to her at 281-433-9858. That's 281-433-9858.
Okay.
Mary Castillo, thank you for watching. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Ah,
And
that's
Laura
fine.
Laura Rodriguez, ¿cómo estás?
Yes, and actually what she said was pórtate bien or le llamo a la policía que te lleve. Yeah, that's another thing. Behave or I'm gonna call the police to come get you. That's the problem with us today. We'll be right back after this break.
And there we are. We'll bring that police in on you.
We're over here abusing our poor engineer. He's like,
All of it, you know.
713-789-0096.
women that got on this radio, I'm trying to get them to go to break.
And we just have, but see, this
Bringing
is
you
always
the
been
focus
I
into
like when we get all
self-indulgence.
together.
Hi, this is Silky Smooth with the All About You show. I recommend key ingredients to loving yourself, nourishment from the inside out by Gloria Davis Armstrong. Each page is like a pilgrimage to self-discovery. Unlock
Hey,
your
that ugly thing. I like it. The kids are terrified. I agree.
And wait, somebody was talking about.
But you shouldn't have to scare
Your kids into being right.
into good
You gotta, if you
behavior.
raise them right.
They should be scared. They should be scared that I'm gonna come after
That I'm
them
gonna hurt you,
personally.
No, we were scared.
But
We
my
had
thing
death
is,
of our
why
father.
would you
He
wanna
was
make
no
them
joke.
afraid?
Some of these young men, if they had my dad,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
they'd be model citizens for everyone. He would have his foot in your neck daily. He made me stand before him and read the newspaper and explain what I read. Now, he didn't know he was developing a writer, and had he lived, I would
Right.
say, well, it's because you made me do that. That I'm a reader and I'm a writer and I'm teaching others how to write and how to read effectively. And now I'm a published writer. But he made me do that.
Right. This is.
I was scared to get it wrong.
I know, right?
It was like you were afraid of it. It's like,
So
please
briefly, I'm going
don't
to
call my parents.
Yeah. Briefly, I'm going to go into. I think that's mainly covering the options. I'm going to talk about Saturnalia, which is still one of the ways that people still do. And then we're going to talk about the upside down Christmas tree,
Okay.
the upside down cross.
Right.
All of that stuff.
Symbolism.
All that stuff is
Yeah, it's symbolic of
it's
something.
symbolic of something different. than
It's
what-
dark.
Yeah.
The dark
I
side.
can't believe the world has turned this way. I mean,
I know.
But I think it's like anything else.
There's no damn light.
I think people.
Because we got so lazy.
I was just gonna say.
It's like that people are searching for
Just
Christ and they
complacent.
don't realize it and they're
Save
going
that
to
for
the
show.
dark
We can
side.
save all the conversation. But see, well, you know, yeah, I'll say that because there's a reason why there are people who believe. People will say, "Oh, I swear to Lucifer," like you say, "I swear to God."
Yeah.
Yeah, people say, "I swear to Lucifer."
I've heard people say that the reason that
Well, we're
they
not supposed to swear anyway, right?
Absolutely.
absolutely not.
Coming
But
back in 30 seconds.
I've heard some people say the reason that they do that. I mean, just out of curiosity, I'd ask them, and they say because I've tried it the other way, and the
Well,
bad
see,
guys always win.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I know about
I was
it.
like,
You get lost, Tony.
okay, well, I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
then.
You gave up.
We got 10 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but Chicago, and what they did in Chicago, they're getting ready, probably get ready to do that.
Yeah, because
In
they're going
all
to
the
start
major
chapters in major cities and then
Right.
it'll come.
And they figured out a way around it.
Absolutely.
Because they said it was public, it's not taxpayer funded, and it's a public place, so they had no choice.
They had no choice but to let it happen.
First Amendment allowed it.
And we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, and probably listening to us after, after the
Behind the scenes.
But what was I going to tell you? Yeah. So we were talking earlier about Lucifer, how the world has become so dark. But what I have gathered from talking to people that know people that have done the Luciferian thing and this whole thing, and it's basically because, the answer is that Lucifer felt like, or the snake rather, felt like he saved you. He introduced you to what God was withholding from you.
Trying to keep
So therefore, you should worship me because I'm the one who actually opened you up and gave you.
I opened your eyes.
That's it.
Which
So
explains-
that's where the Luciferian thing.
Which explains that their comment that they made, the gift of knowledge, this and this
That's
and
what that means because
That's
they
where
feel
they're
like
coming
we
from.
gave it to you because
I did you a favor by,
I did you a
by
favor
showing
by-
you all this
That's right,
ugliness.
because God had the
I
tree
showed
of
you you were
knowledge
naked.
that you had to stay away from. And Satan said, "No, you won't die. Go ahead." So he felt like, well, I just
Yeah,
away
we're
from
not
the
dying.
world.
We're living in misery instead.
And yes,
Exactly.
and we have
exactly.
death
And wondering
and all
why.
And we have
wondering
death
why.
and
Like,
all
what
those
happened? I
things.
don't understand.
We don't figure it out. And
You know,
so-
there's the Church of Lucifer. There is a local one here
Oh, I'm sure they're all over
in the Spring area.
They're all
Yes,
over.
absolutely.
Have you
yes.
seen it?
I have not.
But you can bet we
for a
will
friend, and you know who I'm speaking of.
Mhm.
But he is the one who let me know. And this was last year, was like 2 years ago, that he said, "Hey, that's coming up. I want to go," because he wanted to go in and see and understand.
I don't know if
he's
I would want that energy.
on a-
I'm
he's-
too
well-
afraid of the energy.
right.
I
But
know.
see, he's on a deeper level than
Well,
that.
see, I know
So
him.
for
and
him,
he
that
and I
wouldn't.
both I
yeah.
understand that. He's beyond that.
Right.
It's a quest for knowledge at that point.
Right.
But the world is going dark.
Absolutely. And I think, like you say, too, people are giving up. I made a comment, my nephew's listening, his hair is going to be on fire, but I told him, I said, you know what, people are so accustomed to things being easy. And the minute they see resistance, they are willing to listen to anything that will make it easy again. Even
They
if,
don't want to think.
right, even if that which will make it easy is wrong.
And ultimately will be harder
Exactly.
than this so-called challenging way that you're facing. It's really, that easy way
Exactly.
really is secretly hiding something that's far more challenging, far more burdensome
Right.
than if you had done it.
The
Go
right
ahead
way
and
the
face
first
it. Go
time.
ahead and face
Right.
the correct way. The challenges. That's all right to have
Absolutely.
challenges,
It lets you know what you're made of. It lets you rely on your own strength from within.
and it does strengthen your prayer life. It does.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not worth having if it's going to be that easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just think that
I still say
God's
people
coming
are
back
searching
soon.
for Christ and they don't realize it.
No, they
It's not
want
that
it. They just
difficult.
don't want to work for it.
But you've
That's what it
They're
is.
not making any effort
Absolutely.
whatsoever. That's just like now. There's people. Oh, I want a job. No, you want to get paid without having to do anything, just
Right.
because you exist. That's
think
not how
that's
this
enough to
works.
be
Exactly.
Right.
You don't want to
Yeah.
have to put together a
So they want a
resume.
job, they have no resume, have no skills.
You
or
know,
anything.
You don't want to go on an interview.
Oh, I got fired. What? You did a no call, no show.
Right.
You started last week. Well, what, you mean I can't come back? No,
No.
you can't.
It's really a different
That's
world.
why I say people want it easy, and they want, when they do have a Christ-like life, they want everything to be okay. I'll never have a problem again. No, that's not what we said.
Oh, no.
That's not what we
If
said. So
anything, it'll be, yeah.
absolutely. So they feel like if that's the case, because they've got an excuse for brushing off everything
Absolutely.
that is evil, so that they don't have to admit that was
Own up to the
evil.
fact that it was evil. But that's the world now. You know, speaking of evil, we're talking about the upside down Christmas tree. Now, this came out several years back, but now for this year, it is the hottest thing since hot cocoa.
How does
Really?
it stand up if it's upside down? Is it suspended?
You have to look. You have to put it on. Yeah,
It
it's
looks
kinda
like it's suspended.
Yes,
The one- the
but
picture
that's
that
the
I
new
found.
thing. But see, if you know anything, Anyway, occult organizations and secret societies will do things backwards.
Right.
So the upside down cross, the
And it's
upside down
expensive.
Christmas tree.
So it's
All of
symbolic.
these things are symbolic.
Oh, they're
of
actually
something-
selling it like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Look how much it costs.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
How does it stand?
$229.99 or $377.59.
So why can't I just put my tree together backwards?
Oh, that's so.
The tree that I have now, why can't I just put it together backwards?
You
Why do I have to
probably
pay
can.
another $300,
Well, I
$400,
think you gotta get a
$500?
stand. You see that
Got a
stand is
special
keeping
stand,
a special
probably.
stand probably.
Special stand.
Because the weight, that bottom part is heavier, so
Yeah,
that
but we're Mexican,
maybe that
so I'm
stand.
sure my people already have
I like the way she said that. She tried it because it can.
I'm sure we got
That's
something
kinda
in the
like that portion
backyard
of
that'll
candy.
hold it. It's like, oh,
Okay,
we'll just grab
we
that
figure
over there and
bring
bring me
out-
some
But
pizzas
see,
and good.
see, again, to me, when you bring all these spirits in, you know, God is an upright, forward-thinking, in-your-face
In
God.
Very direct.
Right.
Very
order,
direct. This,
right.
this is different. I don't know what this means or where it's going, but the young people
Wow.
love it. All your main stores, Saks and Neiman's and all some of your larger stores, they all have this upside-down Christmas tree. And then my daughter told me she'd seen one that was in some magazine where not only did they have the tree upside down, they had the damn gifts glued to the ceiling.
You know what? But you can't get those people to go out and help feed the hungry. You can't
Nothing.
give them
Can't
to
get-
donate
You're
a
gonna go through
blanket.
all that
nothing.
trouble.
But they will
Nothing.
do an upside down tree
They
with
would
gifts
do
on
some
the ceiling.
stupid stuff. Right.
I cannot believe that.
That's what
Yeah,
we are.
because if you've got to get up and glue stuff on the
You may
It's
as well
some
use some
work.
packages.
it's gonna. It would be easy to get dressed and go to
When they-
at the homeless shelter and volunteer for 4
Yeah,
hours.
people are not gonna do that. It's
Oh,
good.
no.
See now what used to be good is now bad, and what used to be bad is now good.
Yeah, people, to me, what can be irritating is people work so hard to be contradictory to the norm that they make themselves look ridiculous.
Right.
It's like you're trying so hard to not be
go and get
mainstream
right.
that you're almost comical.
You lost
in your-
sense.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
now you're so far on the other side that that's even a sense of being mainstream. Like you're,
It is.
It's weird.
Because everybody's doing it.
Absolutely.
Everybody's doing it by not doing it.
Exactly.
That's the new
Exactly.
thing. This
It's
is so crazy.
retarded.
It's so
We had the
crazy.
conversation when I went natural, and I was like, the people that were going natural were doing the very same thing that the people who were not natural were doing. So now, okay, what differentiated you now?
Right.
Where do we get the
brings
change?
you out of- Right.
Because you're still being judgmental. It's like
I was
You
just
know.
trying to save some money and be lazy.
Me
That's
too.
why I went natural. I just,
Easy.
I
said, I don't have to
Easy
put what on my
purse,
hair?
right?
Yeah.
Easy on the
I got
purse.
that.
I was like, let me save an hour or two of my life
Okay.
every day.
I just don't know that, and guys, we're not trying to tell you to not celebrate Christmas. That's not what we're doing. We're just basically telling you that if you're going to do something, be able to explain,
Mhm.
even if it's in your own
Under-
head,
yeah,
why you do
understand.
something.
right.
Understand your reasoning.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
understand why you do
And,
things.
and what is it based on? What is
It's
the
tradition.
foundation?
That's it.
Mhm.
It's just tradition.
Yeah,
People don't want to
if it's just
challenge because they don't
tradition,
wanna
that's
stay.
not enough in my opinion,
well,
because
for
some
most-
traditions need to be done away with.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's what God says. He doesn't want you to take on the traditions of heathens and the tradition of men. But
Yeah.
again, Constantine, as we talked about earlier, it says Saturnalia is an ancient Roman festival in honor of Saturn, an agricultural god of plenty, wealth, and liberation, which predates Christmas. The Saturnalia festival was a celebration of winter solstice, which began in December on the 17th of the Julian calendar and lasted for 7 days. It was marked with sacrifices, feasts, gifts, and gambling, and Roman social norms, which were their orgies,
Mm-hmm.
their homosexualities, and
Oh, that was the Roman social norms.
Mhm.
Oh, just like today.
and see, I told you,
Right.
that's what I told you. To
Absolutely.
them, to them,
Absolutely. Know your history, people.
Saturnalia to them is like Christmas is to us.
Right.
So it was the big thing. So again, the Romans were okay with giving up
Sounds
certain
like New
things.
Year's.
And they were willing to give up certain
Or Mardi
things,
Gras,
but they didn't
especially
want
with
to.
the sexual.
They didn't want
part
to
of
give up
it.
Saturnalia because of the orgies and
Yeah.
grapes and eat,
And
drink,
how-
and be merry and.
Freedom
Getting
from
drunk,
religion.
getting
I'm
high.
looking at where it
Freedom
says
from
it.
religion.
Freedom from religion. That's what they say.
That's what Saturnalia was. Freedom from religion. That's kind of like Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras.
That's what I said, Mardi Gras is-
Yeah,
Saturnalia.
let's get all our heathenism and all our evil and
All the
nasty
stuff
stuff
we wanna
out
do.
because we're gonna be pious for the next 40 days.
And that's
Right.
That's exactly.
Because
right.
that cancels it, people. That's how this works, evidently.
Yeah, this is really scary, but but it says here that Christianity became the official religion of Rome, and public events saw the continuation of the Saturnalia with Christian overtones. As late as 449, Saturnalia was still celebrated and very popular, but only as a festival used to honor the god Saturn, which is where it got its name from Saturnalia. The religious aspects of the holiday had disappeared. Over time, it was replaced with Christmas. The audience is? Over time, it was replaced with Christmas, which began in the Roman Empire and spread throughout the Mediterranean by 354 AD. And it was marked on the Roman calendar as December 25th. Just somebody arbitrarily deciding, let's just do this.
I say we have a holiday.
Okay, so make up something. Yeah.
All about you holiday.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Everybody
can
else
bring
gets
us gifts.
to- Yeah, everybody else gets to do it.
So Christmas is actually a Roman
Yeah, it's
Roman holiday.
absolutely.
Right.
You know,
That
and
is
so
not built on Christianity.
Constantine,
No.
Constantine
nothing
had
to-
buck wild parties.
Buck
wild.
But you know what? That's another name
wild freak
in
parties.
the Leslie
Right.
Line series of Constantine.
Yeah. So again, and so on his deathbed, he adopted Christianity. But what he did was he wanted to make sure he tricked us. The whole thing is, you can have Christianity, but you will have Christianity with some of my paganism.
Right.
And
I'm gonna
so-
put my evil spirit
And
on
there
it.
we are.
Sprinkle
Right.
some of that in there.
There
Right.
we are.
And it's
Why do you think
pervasive. It's interwoven throughout. You
That's
don't know.
absolutely
You
right.
don't. If you don't read between the lines, you don't know where to pick out what's legal. I mean, even the Bible says the wheat and the tares must grow together.
That's
And on
true.
that
You have to
great
be
day of
separate.
harvest,
That-
God
then
will
you
separate,
That's
and
right.
you will see who is whom.
But the question becomes, why is it that Santa and Satan have the exact same letters?
Yeah, and Chris Kringle and Krampus.
Well, you got Chris Kringle, he was an evil guy, Krampus, whatever however you say it, and then you had Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick. All of that was all leading up to just being evil.
It was
Right.
just all the way to get in and maneuver their way in to desensitize us, and now here we are.
And again, it's interwoven throughout the tapestry of the so-called
Right.
holiday celebration, and you
right.
don't know the difference. Again,
So you're,
it's in there.
eating, drinking, and being merry. Like,
Right.
Let's eat, drink, and be merry. Go ahead.
Right. I just want to thank everyone who's tuning in.
Thank you,
Again,
guys.
my mom. Okay, ladies, I'm keeping up, but y'all are falling behind on my comments on behind the scenes. she was keeping up with our conversation when we were off the air.
Yeah.
So she was commenting. Sorry.
Read
And also to Lindy, shout out to my friend Lindy, who's also tuning in. She says, put your glasses on so you can see this comment. Love you too. And it's the air that's drying out my contacts. So again, thank you everyone. And yes, men always manipulate things for a benefit of something or someone. Yes, absolutely true.
Absolutely.
That is what Christmas and everything else is about. It's just all about whatever's beneficial at the time. Because like you said,
people
what
use it to
was
manipulate
Christmas
others.
really about? But it was a Roman holiday
That they decided
that
they
celebrated
did not want to
sexuality
give up.
and excessive and gluttony and all that. And here we are.
They did not want to. They did not want to give it up. So
Absolutely.
you want to take us out?
Okay, we're gonna take it out. Today's show was brought to you by Image. I make a great employee, executive, and entrepreneur etiquette training seminars, where life skills meet social graces. Please visit yourbizimage.com. That's www.yourbizimage.com for more information.
Now, guys, we won't see you again until next year, actually. And we're going to just give you a tidbit of information on a magazine cover that came out. I think I sent it to all you guys. It's
Yes.
called The World in 2019.
Yes.
We won't go look that up, or we can have it on our website
Yeah,
for
we'll
you to look
post
up.
it.
But it's something we're going to talk about the 1st of January because, like everything else, it's hidden in plain sight.
Hidden
And until then,
Eyes
guys,
wide
Merry
shut.
Christmas. Coming from me, I don't celebrate it, but I'm happy for you because this is all about you. Y'all have something to
Happy
say?
winter, happy
That's
winter
right.
solstice.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, and happy, very prosperous New Year. We can't wait to see you guys next year.
Absolutely.
All right.
On the radio.
Happy holidays, happy celebrating of Kwanzaa, and let's look beyond the surface and traditions and go beyond that. And
Absolutely.
stop getting caught up.
Let's
in
get deep in
foolishness.
2019.
Let's get
Absolutely.
deep. Yes, absolutely.
Until then, guys, have a good one.
All right.
So I can finish posting this. Christmas, a Roman holiday created when? After what?
What?
Christmas. It's a Roman holiday created after or created for.
She's got one.